YouTube, I'm back. Hello, what's up? If you're new here, my name is Corinne, and from my channel name, I do physics. In the past, when I have created for YouTube, I made videos, educational videos, teaching physics, but I'm doing something a little bit different this time around. So I am getting my PhD in physics. I am entering my 8th year of grad school. So I've been in grad school for 7 years, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey. I've had a lot of ups and downs. I've really struggled throughout graduate school, and it feels like a huge accomplishment for me personally to just be this close to getting my PhD and defending and doing all of that stuff. So I do only have like maybe a half a semester left, like not even a full semester. My advisor is away right now. He'll be back by the middle of September. So sometime between the middle of September and middle of November is when I'm looking to defend. And until then, I'm writing. I still have some research to finish up. And I'm also doing a lot of reflecting on my time in grad school and just like, I don't know, it almost feels like, oh God, I'm getting my period. So I'm also like very emotional, and this whole ending grad school has been very emotional for me. But I guess it feels like my time in this position and in this sort of weird liminal space that is grad school is coming to a close, and it's just fleeting. And I want to try and make the most of my time that I have left to help. So let's go over the goals of like what I want to do with this vlog series, what it even is, because I'm going on a tangent. So I want this vlog series to be me kind of showing you the finishing steps of what it takes to get my PhD and to do the dissertation. A lot of talking about thesis work and defending and things like that. But I also want to revisit some of the other struggles that I've had throughout the past 7 years and just talk about it. Talk about things I could have done better, things that are unavoidable, skills I've had to pull from. I've had to pull from business. I've had to pull from therapy. I've had to pull from a lot of different places that I didn't think I would. And yeah, and just like from talking to other grad students, I've given talks within my department, and I talk to other grad students a lot about grad school. But there still don't seem to be enough resources in one place for people to get into like the nitty-gritty and hidden curriculum stuff. So that's what I would like this to be. And then also for like undergraduates who are considering graduate school, like I want to try and give the most authentic picture of what it's like to be here and what my experience has been through this whole process, so that you can make an informed choice for yourself on if you want to go to grad school or not. Okay, this is already a very long clip. I don't want this to be too long of a video because this video is mostly going to be like an introduction to me and my research. My next video is going to be all about thesis stuff, so I want to break down the structure of the thesis, the components, tools I've used, everything kind of thesis-y stuff. I have a couple other topics in mind that I want to cover, but of course, if there are any specific questions from people, please leave them in the comments below. Like, seriously, any questions you have about grad school or physics or PhD or any of that stuff, I will do my best to answer you or find an answer for you, since I do have access to a lot of grad students, a lot of professors, and just like a lot of people within academia, just given the nature of my job right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just got ready for work, so I'm gonna pack my bag, I'm gonna go to work, and we're gonna do a lab tour today. I'll show off some of my experiments when we get to the lab, and I'll just also kind of give the status update of like where I am in the thesis, what I've done and what I have left to do. With that being said, let's go to the lab. So I'm in my lab, and my projector is warming up right now, and while that warms up, I figured I would just explain a little bit about what my research project is. So as I mentioned, my subfield is biophysics. The field of biophysics is generally just people answering questions about biological systems or mechanisms and then trying to explain it through the physical properties that might be driving it, because the laws of physics apply everywhere, including within biological material. My lab specifically is interested in how organisms and just like nervous systems, I guess, are able to extract and detect motion visually. So the two other people and like everyone else who has been through my lab has worked on flies, so using that as like the model organism as they study. I chose to do my work on humans because that was what I was comfortable with working with. The main topic, like overarching topic of my thesis and my PhD research is trying to figure out what computations, which calculations the human nervous system is doing so that the streams of photons and the light that is entering your eye, we can then do some computation and be like, oh yeah, that thing is moving like that. So yeah, that's kind of like the general picture of what I'm doing. So my experiments focus on people. We get measures of how well people can see motion by how well they're able to perform either a judgment task, so like the motion is either moving up or it's moving down, and you have a certain amount of time to decide which direction you think it's going. The more that you get correct, the more strongly that you can see the motion that's there. If you say get like 50-50, given that this is like a 50% chance of being down, 50% chance of being up, if you have a 50-50 performance, then that tells me that you can't see the motion and you're just guessing. So kind of like that's one way that we can measure like what's called the motion strength, or how strongly you can see the motion. And then let me turn my camera around and I'll show you my setup to do these experiments on. There she is in all her glory. So this is my setup. My projector is like totally washed out. That made it worse. The projector screen is normal in person, but it's not going to come across that way on the phone, just because so this is a quote unquote special projector. It's super, super bright just because it's so close to the screen. Like this is supposed to be for like a big screen. So it's very, very bright. That has caused me a lot of issues because it also gets very hot. But the real thing that makes this projector so special is that it's fast. So it operates at 120 hertz, so 120 frames per second. And then the way that it does the mixture of red, blue, and green, you can get it up to 360 hertz, which this projector actually can't do, but I had one before this that was the exact same, that had that color wheel removed. So it was just black and white, but you could get things presented on the screen really quickly. So people sit down, you adjust the chair to whatever feels comfortable. You put your chin in the chin rest to stabilize. And then you look at the screen. Let's see if this will come up. I'll zoom in a little bit too. So I have a counter that comes up for people to tell them which experimental block they're on and which trial of that block they're on. So I typically do a block 0, that's just a warm up. You click the mouse. Oh, you can't really see it at all. Maybe if I do. Let me make some adjustments. One moment. Or all these weird colors that are happening. There can be weird effects from having the screen be produced at a different frame rate than the phone is, and it starts to look really weird. So trust me when I tell you in person, it's just gray. But let me start a new trial. So you hopefully were able to see, that to me looked like it was going down. As the test subject, oh my gosh, I'll get better at this vlogging thing. All I'm doing as the test subject is either moving my mouse up and then the white dot appears at the top, and if I move my mouse down, then it'll move that white dot down, and that's indicating, that tells me that I selected downward as the direction I think it's going. So that is my experiments for the most part. I am currently, so this week I'm about to get the last data collected for my second to last experiment. I'm so excited. And then there's one more experiment that I have that's like, I have one complete data set, I have one mostly complete data set, and then I have two pretty incomplete data sets that it's those kind of last three that I would like to fill in just to lend more support for my arguments in my thesis. So yeah, so that is the status of the experimental part of what needs to be done for my thesis. And yeah, I'll do these experiments and I will catch you guys at home with the pup. Hi, it is much later than I thought it would be when I was filming this. Howitzer has made his appearance on screen. I'm sitting down to eat right now. Gotta feed that brain, gotta feed that body. And I thought I would just take this time to address the Oprah in the room. So, I hope I don't get anybody in trouble for this. Maybe I won't say his name. So one of my very best friends, we started together, we do biophysics, which is like its own little like clique, not a clique, but it's just like, I feel like biophysics can sometimes be looked down on by certain other physicists. Like, I don't know, you know the meme where it's like the huskies and then the cat with the husky hat on? Like, I feel like that cat sometimes, like being in the physics department, because like I don't do hard physics, just some tea for what's going on like in between the subfields. There's a little bit of like just infighting and hazing and whatever other stuff. But so one of the things that you absolutely need to get through this PhD is going to be a support system, and I think that it helps if you have somebody within your cohort or within your program and in your classes that you can support each other in that way and push each other. And one of the things that JB and I really bonded over was one of the first times that I was in his house, I saw this giant picture of Oprah. He just instantly, and who has this giant ass picture of Oprah just in their house? So, and I just love, it's so crazy and I just love it. It makes me laugh every day. And you also need to find ways to make yourself laugh, and it really helps with the stress. You need to find a stress relief. So I always coveted this. So for 7 years that we have been friends, I've always coveted this. And the other thing that kind of we have this connection on with this is that when we were younger, when we were in our undergrad in college, we both worked as baristas at completely different cities, mind you. We're still Starbucks girlies to this day. And for those of you who remember, but she did a collab where she came out with a chai tea. And this was part of the in-store like promotional materials for when she came out with her chai tea. I didn't work there at the time that this happened, but his store did, and they were just gonna throw this away. And so he took it. Oh, I said his name, I'll bleep it out. But yeah, so, and he took it, and when he moved recently, I guess he had enough time with Oprah that he passed it on to me, because you know how happy it makes me, and it just like makes me feel connected to him every single day when I see this, and I love it. And yeah, so that's my giant Oprah. In my office at work, I have a giant Einstein, because I want him to be looking over at me, just like never really being satisfied with the amount of work I've done. Like I've done like a slightly disappointed grandfather, and I just find that helps. I've got all the tricks. Stay for the tips and tricks. So, I'm rambling, I digress. I'm gonna sign off now. I have like all these ring lights on because I have no lights in my living room that are bright enough to like film in here at night. Anyway, that is it from me for today. thank you for tuning in for this first vlog. And yeah, I'm really excited to be starting this project. And it's something I've wanted to do for a pretty long time, and it just took me a little... We'll go down here. It took me a little time. Oh, I wonder if my forehead veins will pop out. I have some pretty gnarly forehead veins that if I'm like any sort of horizontal, they start to pop out. This one on my head is really the big one, the biggie. But yeah, that's it for me. It's been a very long day, and I'm excited to be filming again, and I'm excited for potentially helping some other grad students or potential grad students or people who support grad students. So if you want to see if I actually pull it off, stay tuned. Howitzer, are you just done? You're done. Okay. I think Howitzer's finally tuckered out, so I'm gonna wash my face and go to bed. But wherever you are, whether you're a physics student or not, happy physicsing. And from Howitzer, you gonna say goodbye to the kiddos?